I'm just a guy sitting in front of another guy asking him to do a podcast. You make me want to be a better man. You complete me. Eric, I'm a little late, brother, but will you be my Valentine?
You had me at Do You Want to Start a Podcast?
Oh, I was a little nervous. He said yes.
I did. Yes. I said yes. It's got me thinking how different Valentine's was when we were kids.
Oh, for sure.
It's just, I feel like Valentine's Day in the 80s and especially in the 90s when you got older and we're in elementary school and middle school, like it was a lot was on the line on Valentine's Day. That not only was there the pressure of going to the store with your mom or your dad to pick out the multiple themed like celebrity, whether it was Disney or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or like Marvel Comics, like just the choice alone of picking out what your Valentine's cards should be for your friends, let alone your crushes, was just like so much pressure. Like,
oh yeah,
it was, some of those were so cool. I looked them up like in the past few days and I forgot how cheesy, but so, they were so fun. They were just like, did you have particular ones that you picked out as a kid?
Oh, definitely. And I start to think like, no wonder why the girl would say no. I gave her a Michael Jordan Valentine. That's not what they were. All of the girls got Valentines that were sports themed.
You picked out like Michael Jordan ones. I picked out Ninja Turtle ones.
Oh,
so I feel
yes.
like also it's just like I picked out ones that, you know, I didn't think that's like what's going to swoon my crush. It was what I watch on TV. I'm just like, oh, she'll really dig this Michelangelo one. Let's have a slice of pizza and have a slice of my heart.
Oh.
They had the cheesiest like sayings on them.
Some of the best parts though about those Valentines were the candy.
Oh, yeah.
Or as I call it, candy I can't eat anymore. Because all my fillings would fall out. So, you know, what's interesting when I was thinking about this, though, I think I would call this maybe an older person candy. Mm-hmm. And these didn't come in Valentine's. My mom would buy these for me. But I loved the chocolate-covered cherries.
Oh, yeah.
Cordials, I think they're called.
Oh, that's like fancy candy. Like I wouldn't even classify that candy. That's like a dessert.
Yeah, that was a Valentine's Day treat.
You guys were fancy in New Mexico back then. So did you say it was your mom that started that tradition?
Yeah, and she says she listens to this podcast, so this will be a test. Mom, no more chocolate-covered cherries for Christmas or Valentine's or any time of my life.
You just get Harper addicted to them. She'll probably like them.
I'll tell you though, when the Valentines had the caramel apple suckers, that's a candy I can't eat anymore. But when it had those, you know that girl that liked you.
Yeah,
just you didn't want to look in the other bags so they all got the same sucker. But
yeah, I agree. Like those nowadays, those are straight up filling yankers. Like
yes.
you're gonna yank something out of your mouth. Like those things were so. It just goes to show how tough your teeth were when you're like 8, 9, 10 years old. Because like you just bite into those and just
yeah.
It's like super glue. Those were crazy. The suckers for me were like Tootsie Pops. Like Tootsie Pops were big ones. And what was it called? It was the ones that had gum in them. Well, they blow pops. Yeah. Blow pops were the ones where you knew somebody was either your best friend or your crush, as if you got a blow pop in my class. Like that
wasn't a knockoff brand sucker. That was the sucker. That was the brand. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that was for a solid 15 years of my childhood, that was like the premier sucker. was blow pops. Not only with Valentine's stuff being so just part of Valentine's Day or the week leading up to it in school, but the idea of passing notes to friends or to crushes back in the day. You know, we're the original text messengers and we had to write our text on a piece of paper.
Right.
Yeah, it's just as much as like, I feel like someday, you know, like Harper's probably going to poke fun at you of like the same thing we say to like grandparents of like, yeah, you probably had to write that on a cave wall or etch it into a piece of stone. She'll be like, oh, you had to physically write down something to a friend and they get to just digitally do it from the comfort of their couch.
You have no idea how long we had to wait back for the response. You send a text, that's instant. That's right then and there. I mean, maybe there's that the thought bubble thing and then a delete and then the thought bubble comes back and you're waiting. But we had to wait passing periods, man, like 45-minute blocks. Or if they never found it, So yeah,
that's a good point. Like I think the good analogy for her in present day would be the equivalent of sending a text to somebody and getting the 3 dots forever, and it never ends, and the message never comes. Like it would just be so brutal.
Oh yeah, and then the fear of that one note that was like you held on your fingers and you could flip the pages back and forth, the little triangles, and sometimes they were color coded. Oh, David, you get to open blue during math, and you're like, okay, well, what's red and green and yellow gonna say and blue? That note passing game was always terrifying as well, because your peers, your friends were in the same room with you, and everyone knew you were opening it. We all had those desks that had the cubby in the inside. That's where you would open the note, and your buddy's watching you. Your teacher knows you're not paying attention, and you're just terrified of what that note's going to say. Do you want to go to the dance with me?
Yeah.
And that was just, talk about being on pins and needles, getting that response. I remember elementary school dances, but they were very, very innocent and sweet, and they were like outside a lot of the time. Parents were there. It wasn't a dance. It
was more of a pizza party in the gym is what it was. Like like there wasn't a lot of dancing. It was you're right, but middle school was the turning point.
Middle school, they turned the lights off.
Oh yeah.
And you had just the music and like stream lights or strobe lights.
Yeah.
But I mean, the lights were off.
It
was young David will remember walking into the gym, and it was just like, we're unsupervised. Well, there were chaperones, teachers, but it's just like the lights are off. There's music. There's girls.
That was also the era of, one, you made it past the nervousness of asking. And then there's the nervousness of whether or not like your mom and you go and pick her up and then take her to the dance. There's the whole nervousness of that. But then there's all the slow dances of that era. It was the era of the boy band. Like I feel like
sure.
So like there were so many sappy love songs and just countless boy bands back in that
we all
day.
know Backstreet Boys are the best. BSB all the way.
The funny thing is when I was a kid, Backstreet Boys were the biggest one. And I feel like into high school it seemed to transition into NSYNC. I started pivoting into NSYNC.
I want my Valentine back. I want it back. I want it that way.
Wow. When I was at a dance, they played Boys to Men songs where it's just like there was a Boys to Men song that was I'll Make Love to You.
Yeah.
I'll make love to you like you want me to. I'm in 6th grade.
Right.
I don't need to be dancing.
Throw
to that
your
song.
clothes on the floor, something like that.
It
now
was
people just witnessed I don't have rhythm or tone. The band Savage Garden.
Oh, yeah.
Truly, Madly, Deeply. And I knew I loved you before I saw you.
Yeah, Truly, Madly, Deeply was many years. That was a big slow dance song.
I mean, is that on repeat?
I'm not confusing it. Is it the I'll be your dream, I'll be your wish, I'll be your fantasy? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I haven't heard that in years, but that was huge.
And then the other one, Seal, Kiss from a Rose.
Uh-huh. That was from the Batman soundtrack, wasn't it?
Yeah. Batman Forever?
Yeah. One of the big NSYNC ones was God Must Have Spent a Little More Time on You.
Because God must have spent a little more time.
I'll listen to those beautiful tones. Well, and I'll also give it to you. Backstreet Boys with I'll never break your heart. I'll never make you cry. I'd rather die. Like it's just
there you go.
So cheesy. It's like I'd rather die than live without you.
From a podcast to reinventing a boy. Are we doing this?
We're doing.
Are we
going
to become a boy band in 2022?
Really
I think the world needs it. Actually,
they do. Yeah, I feel like especially if we were specifically a cover band for millennial female listeners, that all we did was sing
only deep tracks too.
Yeah,
only deep tracks.
Cuts, yeah,
deep cuts.
I see. Yeah, that's definitely. We need to pivot. Bygone Geek, the boy band, for sure.
Oh my god, it just sounds so good.
It does.